An exclusive interview with former Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta. He's angry about the sequestration cuts to defense, calling them irresponsible.
Like it or not, it's happening. Congress and the president failed to reach a deal.
And our top story.
That could have been someone I knew. Could have been my family.
Coping with tragedy, how the city of Santa Cruz is working to try to get back to normal after 2 police officers were killed.
You're watching KSBW Channel 8, Salinas, Monterey, Santa Cruz. This is Action News 8. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dan Green.
And I'm Erin Clark. We are beginning tonight with new information on the Santa Cruz shooting investigation that left 2 police detectives dead. Tonight, police announced that they are searching for a woman who may have known the suspect, Jeremy Goulet. She is 28-year-old Teresa Johnson. Now, police say she is in no way connected with the shooting. However, they believe she spent time with Goulet earlier this year, and they want to talk to her about Goulet and his background. Police say she may be homeless, living in a Santa Cruz campsite. If you have any information on where she may be, you're asked to contact Santa Cruz Police. It has been just 3 days since the 2 Santa Cruz police officers were killed. Detectives Butch Baker and Elizabeth Butler.
Memorials have popped up in several places in the city, and they continue to grow. In the neighborhood where it all went down, people there are trying to digest the loss. Action News reporter Brittany Nielsen has more tonight, live from Santa Cruz.
Well, Dan, Aaron, people who live in the apartments where Goulet was killed and across the fence from where officers were gunned down are still reeling tonight. They say they are completely worn out and exhausted, but they want to give back to the Santa Cruz Police Department.
I just felt moved to do something more than just cry about it and think about it at home.
Rachel Cadman hung homemade posters above a memorial at Branciforte and Doyle Friday evening.
I wanted to put something out there to show their family and friends and fellow officers that I care, or that the community cares.
Just days ago that this neighborhood was rocked by gunfire.
Multiple gunshots fired. Multiple gunshots fired on Doyle.
And neighbors say they are a long way from feeling at home again.
You don't want to go to your mailbox because there's holes in the wall and such.
And emotions are still peaking.
I just bless the soul of the child that is gone and the children that are left from their parents being gone.
This site where gunman Jeremy Goulet was shot and killed by officers after ambushing Sergeant Detectives Butch Butler and Elizabeth Baker just over the fence from here has become an attraction.
Well, you can tell like the ones over here, they're bigger.
Bullet holes are scattered across garage doors, the corners of cement pillars, and in a van across the street.
Just wanted to see, where exactly things went down and, get a visual.
Eddie Santos came to show his friend the dramatic proof of the shootout.
Shows just what a battle it was, I mean, the guy had body armor and, was going to go down, putting up a fight. And, it's just really sad, such a, criminal would want to take other people, down with them.
Next door, another smaller memorial sits where the officers were killed, with candles burning through the night as the memorial in front of the Santa Cruz Police Department continues to grow. Now, we also tried to check in on that neighbor who was ushered out of the area where the gunfire was so heavy on Tuesday. She was unavailable today. Neighbors say everyone there in that area, in that complex, is completely exhausted, and they are just trying to take care of themselves this evening. Dan, Aaron.
All right, thank you very much,
Brittany.
Brittany. Santa Cruz police officers did return to duty today after 2 days off.
Sheriff's deputies and CHP officers have been covering patrols in Santa Cruz for the past 2 days, but today it was time for Santa Cruz PD to go back to work. Action News reporter Phil Gomez has the story.
We're very well taken back and very honored to have our our neighboring law enforcement agencies stand there and support us.
Santa Cruz County Sheriff deputies stood at attention while a dozen Santa Cruz police officers went back to work. Police were in mourning for the 2 detectives killed in the line of duty. Sergeant David Porba's team was the first to hit the streets.
And I told them we had a tougher job because we were the first team to go back out and face the community, so we need to go out and keep our heads high and let them know that we're doing this for Butch and Elizabeth and honor them.
An emotional Ron Perigo came to salute the officers.
It felt good seeing them back. It felt good seeing them back, and we just wanted to support them today.
They'll be looking for 7 males drinking and smoking near the stairs.
At the 911 center, cards and letters of support were coming from throughout the country. Dispatchers did not know detectives Butch Baker and Elizabeth Butler were gunned down until management informed them a couple of hours later.
It was surreal. There were no words. You just can't sit. I mean, when your general manager tells you something so gravely and so serious, so personal, it's very hard. There were no words. Shock, I guess is a good word. Overwhelmed, unbelievable. I just remember not thinking, no, wanting to say no, it can't be.
And while officers return to work, they know that the week that lies ahead is going to be even tougher as they say goodbye to their fallen friends at a memorial service next Thursday. In Santa Cruz, Phil Gomez, KSBW, Action News 8.
Big change for that memorial service. It has been moved to San Jose, to the HP Pavilion.
It was originally scheduled to be at Kaiser Permanente Arena in Santa Cruz. It only holds 4,000 people. They expect more than twice, possibly 3 times that. A disappointment to some, but they made the decision to move it.
I heard that it was going to be at the new building, the Kaiser Permanente building. I thought there's no way that it's going to fit as many people as I believe will come to this.
It's going to be the entire town.
It will be the entire town.
Honestly, in my opinion, it should be here in Santa Cruz for all our residents that don't have the opportunity to drive over there. It should be here. And for all of us who did have like a connection with them, we can go to the ceremony.
Well, again, it is happening at the HP Pavilion in San Jose, scheduled right now to begin Thursday at noon. Not only are memorial services planned for the officers, but the city is also trying to help their families. Bank accounts have been set up where you can donate. You go to cityofsantacruz.com. You can also make a check out to Santa Cruz Police Officers Association and mail it to Bay Federal Credit Union. The address is there on your screen. We want to make a mention of this. It's nauseating to even tell you. Outside companies, say police, have been making phone solicitations for the fallen officers. They have not been requested by the victims' families. It's a fraud. If you want to make a donation, you can make a donation by mailing it there or going to cityofsantacruz.com.
We will have live coverage of the memorial on Thursday right here on KSBW. We'll also be streaming live online at KSBW.com.
In our Project Economy, neither side blinked. Tonight, President Obama ordered the $85 billion cross-the-board federal budget cuts called sequestration.
In Washington tonight, notices were going out warning of furloughs to Justice Department workers, and air shows by the Blue Angels have been canceled. President Obama blamed Republicans.
They've allowed these cuts to happen because they refused to budge on closing a single wasteful loophole, and it's an example.
Sequester seems to be sure to be in effect for the next budget fight as well later this month that could shut down more of the government.
$110 million in cuts could impact the national parks and monuments here on the Central Coast. Word from the White House is there will be a 5% cut in the budget of most parks, meaning closures, shorter operating hours, closed facilities, cuts to maintenance and visitor services. There are also preparations for staff furloughs and cutbacks.
We're having to plan some things that we will slow down, contracts, maybe seasonal services to the public, that sort of thing, until we're certain that we can pay for them and balance the books at the end of the year.
Bureau of Land Management says there will likely be a reduction in those seasonal workers this summer for sure. Here on the Central Coast, a look at the DoD employees that could be impacted by the furloughs. 3,000 workers at the Defense Language Institute, another 1,500 at Naval Postgraduate School. Statewide, the Pentagon pays out just under $5 billion to civilian employees in California. That number could go down by over $400 million.
At Defense, they are looking at monster cuts, $500 billion on top of $500 billion already in the works. Former Defense Secretary Leon Panetta says it's a slash and burn approach that will threaten national security. Panetta calls the cuts irresponsible and dangerous.
I've always said you shouldn't have to choose between national security and fiscal responsibility. You ought to be able to find sufficient defense savings to meet our fiscal responsibility. But also, you've got to defend the country. You've got to keep it safe.
Panetta is coming off 4 tough years in Washington, first as director of the CIA and most recently as Secretary of Defense. Next Monday and Tuesday at 6 and 11, we will have much more on our conversation with Panetta, including the inside story on the hunt for Osama bin Laden.
Another twist today in the search for a new CEO at Salinas Valley Memorial Hospital. Hospital announced today that this man, Pete Delgado, will take over the position. Currently CEO at Los Angeles County and University of Southern California Healthcare Network. He is set to start at SVMH next month.
On the Crime Watch tonight, new information on the murder in Watsonville. Police have ID'd the victim as 20-year-old Felipe Reyes. He was stabbed multiple times yesterday near Alvarado and Lincoln Streets. Police say 5 men attacked him. He died at the scene. Police have not made any arrests, but one of the suspects was seen running from the scene and may have run into the side of a moving car. Police are asking the driver of that car to call Watsonville Police.
Well, if you have a gun and want to get rid of it, Santa Clara County is hosting a gun buyback tomorrow, taking handguns, shotguns, and rifles. They will give $100 with no questions asked, $200 for assault rifles. Happens at the San Jose Fairgrounds, 10 until 2. If you go, you have to make sure the weapons are unloaded and remain in your trunk until you're ordered to take them out. Continuing coverage now on mounting pressure surrounding Alice Al School District's trustee and Salinas City Councilman Jose Castaneda. On Tuesday, the City Council began action aimed at determining what should be done about him holding 2 offices simultaneously. Councilwoman Jill Lutz requested that a letter be sent to Alice Al Union School District, County Office of Education, the DA's office, and the State Attorney General's office. They're asking for a legal opinion on just what to do.
It's that elephant in the room, that proverbial elephant in the room, and it's not going away. And we're getting more and more people calling us, emailing us, please, trying to get us to solve the situation, just to resolve it somehow.
Lutz has also requested that the council hire an independent attorney and for the council to hold a closed-door session on the matter on March 19th.
News around the world, the transition between the end of one papacy and the beginning of another has begun at the Vatican, officially started. During this time, and more than 20 key leaders will guide the College of Cardinals in their deliberations. They'll also organize the conclave that will choose the next pope.
I can imagine a first ballot in which 15 or 20 names end up on those ballot papers deposited in that chalice beneath the Last Judgment. This is going to take a while, I think.
The Cardinals will begin meeting on Monday to choose the date for the conclave.
Still to come on Action News, Taco Bell beef, or mystery meat, the European incident that has the company pulling it from restaurants.
Sinkhole destroys a home, trapping a man underneath. We will have the latest on the search. First, though, here's Jim with your wake-up weather.
All right, we made it through Friday. Gorgeous day, still clear skies out there, but clouds are heading our way. Nothing much wet yet, but we're working our way to that end. But we got a weekend to do first. The first one of March is looking pretty good. Mild enough out there right now, mostly 50s around the state, a couple of 60s down in Southern California, 31 at Lake Tahoe. And around here, it's starting to drop down to just about 50 degrees. Nothing terribly cold, though. We got enough relative humidity to do it. Could be a little bit of local sea fog around Monterey Peninsula. For the rest, Saturday starts off with sunshine, and then we'll talk about when that rain might make it here in just a bit.
You're watching watching the #1 news choice on the Central Coast with Dan Green, Aaron Clark, sports with Dennis Lennon, and KSBW weather with Jim Vanderswan. Coverage you can count on. This is Action News 8 at 11.
3, 2, 1.
We have some problems with this. Engine problem has been fixed tonight with the Dragon capsule after there was trouble with its thrusters just after liftoff this morning. Crews say the problem was a stuck valve or line blockage. They fixed it, though. Spacecraft is taking supplies to the International Space Station.
Emergency. Yes, we need an ambulance, and the cop buddy's stuck underneath the house. The house just fell through.
Okay, and what happened to the house?
The bedroom floor just collapsed, and my brother-in-law is in there. He's underneath the house.
Really a tragedy. That's what police heard this morning after a sinkhole suddenly swallowed a Florida man. He was just sleeping in his bedroom. 36-year-old Jeffrey Bush is still missing tonight, and rescue workers say the ground is too unstable to even attempt a rescue. They have suspended the search until further notice. Though the house actually looks fine from that vantage point. Sinkhole is said to be 30 feet wide, 20 feet deep, because Florida actually sits on a bed of underwater caverns. Sinkholes are fairly common there.
A man in Illinois who died a day after collecting on a $1 million lottery ticket was poisoned, say authorities. It was in July. The 46-year-old man won on a scratch-off. The day after he got the payout, he died. Autopsy found he died of cyanide poisoning, and the case is now a homicide. Shouldn't be long till they figure it out.
Who got the money?
Well, that horse meat scandal involving, remember the IKEA meatballs? It's spread now to Taco Bell's in Europe. Beef has been pulled from Taco Bell's in the European Union, and they discovered horse meat in the ground beef. The company, this is Europe, has pulled it from the 3 UK outlets where it's been found. They say the incident is not, stressed, not linked to any U.S. restaurants. And by the way, the IKEA meatballs here are okay, too. Burger King, thank goodness. Burger King and Nestle also found traces of horse DNA in some of their European products, so they're still sorting it out.
You were worried about the meatballs.
They're great meatballs.
Good news on the meatballs. Potential medical breakthrough from, of all places, alligators. Alligator blood is turning out to be a pretty potent antibiotic in lab testing anyway. Researchers found that alligator white blood cells make tiny proteins that have antibacterial qualities, can kill E. coli, salmonella, strep, staph infections, even a strain of HIV. Researchers say alligator blood serum could be on store shelves within the next 10 years. If you love scotch, this story will break your heart. Thousands of gallons of scotch flushed down the drain at a bottling plant in Scotland. Oh no. Wasn't on purpose, it was a mistake. Workers had intended to drain some wastewater, but instead flushed the whiskey. The distillery isn't saying exactly how much of the stuff went down the drain.
Somebody's going to get fired. There's going to be a new look to Facebook. The social network is unveiling a retooling on March 7th. Last time they did it, they unveiled the graph search. So we'll all be excited about that.
They always unveil something. Yeah. It's always something.
Coming up, Jim is here with a look at our forecast.
First of all, let's check out the view. Skycam 8, Salinas tonight. Hydrolocal conditions. We'll be back with Jim's forecast in a moment.